Here we are at the Lippert Technical Institute, and today we're going to look at the third and final segment of the behind the scenes series. We looked at virtual production, then we looked at technical publications, and today we're going to be meeting the technical training team. So let's go ahead and go inside and meet Dan and walk through the facility. Hey Dan.
Morning, Charlie. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good,
Good. Hey, I was hoping you could give me an in-depth tour and a little bit of behind the scenes of the technical trainer.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Awesome.
So we have our north building here and our south building. We have 8 technical trainers for the RV side, and then 1 that does all of our marine training. And then we also partner with all of our OEMs, so all the folks building the RVs, they come in here for training. They invite their dealer networks in here for training, and we go from there. Like we like to say here, trying to make people turn taillights faster so people can stay camping, man.
40,000 square feet, that's a lot. Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's go. So in this facility, both buildings, we house about 120 people. That's pretty comfortable. We do 20 people max per classroom. We have 3 dedicated classrooms in this building, 2 along this wall, and then 1 upstairs here. In our south building, we have 2 additional dedicated classrooms. And then we also have the ability to set up these modular classrooms. Why don't we head in there and I'll kind of explain how we train folks to get them more familiar with our product. Inside the classroom here, most of the classrooms are set up very similar. So we'll kind of do the, as a fellow military guy, you can appreciate this, the crawl, walk, run method, right? So up here we'll talk about theory, principles, what the parts and pieces are called. One thing we'll really try to hit hard on is nomenclature, what we as a company call things. So whether we're training people who work for our call center or training people who work at dealerships or RV owners, what do we call that part? That way when you call in, that phone call is streamlined, you're talking about the same thing, and a lot of those headaches kind of get to the wayside there. So they'll go through some theory on the PowerPoint here. All my trainers are talking through various troubleshooting methods, how systems operate, what to look for if something's not operating correctly. As they're going through the class, once that theory portion is kind of more embedded in the attendee's brain, they'll do some tabletop hands-on here. So we'll get to some basic principles of how electricity is flowing through the system, how those signals are working, and they'll get to test those hands-on while they're going through that class. And then towards the end of class, what we'll do is we have these scenario sheets printed out. The instructor will do, so he'll break every one of the attendees up into separate groups, and then we'll send them out to the scenario stations that we have. These are purposely broke. My team creates all of these different stations that you see here. So from the tabletop mock-ups to the various art things you might see on the walls. And then the technician gets to go through these and troubleshoot line by line by line to get to the answer. So we don't want to say, hey, it's the motor. We make them work to find out it is in fact the motor that's bad, or it is a wire that's bad.
The scenarios, are those common issues that you'll see in the field, and where do you get that knowledge?
So a lot of these scenarios, a lot of the stations that we build for these technicians, those things come from top warranty claims. So we work side by side with our warranty department. We will work with our care center, kind of pull those top 3 that they're constantly getting. So we really work with different departments inside the company, our plants. They'll give us feedback on things that they need us to address. Our technical publications team, they write all of our documentation. So we'll address some of the PCNs, some of the quick reference sheets, some of those things you can find online. So we kind of make it a whole corporate mashup of what's some of our concerns out there, and really try to hit heavy on those things to help reduce as many phone calls, as many conversations going into the call center as possible.
That's really interesting. Let's go take a look at them.
So Charlie, a good example of some of the work my team does is this frame, for instance. We get these from our frame plants, obviously, but then what happens is it's too large for the space we occupy. So what we'll do is we'll go down through here. Some of the frames that we have, we've taken 5 feet off of, some we've taken up to 8, 10 feet off of. And then the team actually will go through. This one, the bumper was cut off and then we welded it back on. We have another frame, we cut the midsection out, welded the frame back together. So when I say the team pretty much creates everything you see here, other than the frame itself, we've even modified those but they do every bit of it. And it's all their creativity that really drives this program to the next level every time we do these things. Not everything can be a full frame. So what the team does is they go through and they create different stations for these technicians to be able to work on, get real hands-on, right? So this particular one here is fully functioning. It's not obviously going to auto level, but the technician can come up here and we have different scenarios built in, and you're going to ask me, hey, what's the issue built into this one? And I'm not going to tell you, because then everybody who comes here won't be able to actually troubleshoot and learn anything. But part of the scenario for this one is properly checking that the cartridge valves are opening and closing when they're supposed to, verifying that the technician knows how to manually open that cartridge valve, which if they've seen some of the webinars, they should know how to do that. But bringing them up here, showing them how to open the cartridge valve, troubleshooting to make sure the signals are getting there, verifying that that cartridge valve is getting the appropriate signals, and then opening, and then going through a manual override. And that's whether you're a technician working at a dealership, or if you're coming in for, if you're an RV owner and you're coming in for one of our RV owner schools, we're going to show that RV owner the same, hey, this is how you troubleshoot a cartridge valve, and this is important, obviously, to an RV owner. How do you manually override in the event that you've had a total power loss for whatever reason, right? And then after that, once the technician goes through this, they're troubleshooting, we kind of break it down. So it's sort of a guide on how, hey, you need to check this, need to check this, need to check this. And then once they're done, there's some qualifying questions at the end, usually about 2 or 3 questions, just to reinforce, hey, on an auto retract sequence, what's the pressure switch looking for to shut the system down? Really just reinforcing the principle so a technician can walk out of here with a hopefully a better grasp. And we've had multiple technicians come multiple different times, and every time it's, I learned something different today, or I learned something new. And that's really what it is, right? Give those technicians a jumping point so that they're confident in what they're about to work on. And if we can get people to fix them faster, get people back in their RVs sooner, that's better for everyone, right? Why don't we head into the shop and we'll show you where all the magic happens.
Great.
All right. This is where the team makes all the mock-ups, right? So whether it's making new stuff or repairing stuff that technicians have broke. Hey Aaron, you got a second?
Yeah, Dan.
Hey Aaron, Charlie's doing a quick video tour here. I was hoping you could spend some time with him kind of explaining what mock-up you might be working on and all that fun stuff that happens back here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
So right now what we got some feedback from some of our technicians in class how we could slightly modify one of our mock-ups. So I'm actually working on a new idea to modify one of our through frame slide out mock-ups that we use in class based on their feedback.
It seems like you go from presenting in front of customers all the way to welding. So walk me through that whole process.
Yeah, absolutely. So really what that process looks like for us is we do a little bit of everything. And by a little, I mean a lot. Because when you think about an RV and the things that we're teaching in class, it's not only a house, it's a house on wheels. So you get the best of the automotive world mixed with the best of the construction world for residential living, things like that. So when it comes to our instructors here in the Institute, what we have to do is we have to know how to meet those standards to be able to teach using full-blown woodworking techniques to metalworking techniques such as welding, cutting, grinding, all of those types of things, to using a full different array of different types of woodworking tools, all the way down from routers to table saws to circular saws to really anything you can think of. And since we build every single one of our mock-ups here, it takes a ton of learning for our instructors to be able to do this, because this is how they learn. Sure. So when we bring somebody in, we have to sometimes tailor to some of their own learning, right, for their own growth, to be able to learn how to do these different things in the shop. But then on top of that, they also have to have exceeding skills in both public speaking, interacting with customers, customer service, all the way down to full technical knowledge, being able to turn wrenches and use tools to be able to better explain this to these folks so they know exactly what we're talking about, so we can make sure that when they leave here, they're ready to go. So when we bring somebody in, we do a lot of what we call train the trainers. So not only are we hip to hip training these folks really how to use these tools, build mock-ups and interact with the actual systems that Lippert makes to create these mock-ups, but we're also allowing them to sit in our classes and learn how we teach, but then we also have them teach us. So the hardest thing to do is to teach your peers.
That's not easy.
No, it's really not. So we kind of break in our instructors by allowing them to teach us first so that we can work with them to grow and allow them to understand what types of questions are going to be asked into class, how to navigate those answers and how to interact with those customers, because there may be a customer that is still learning that really has a lot of confusion right now.
Sure.
So we have to be able to prep them to be able to teach that class through really high level skills to cater to them, to make sure that we're catering to the 2-day-old tech to the 30-year veteran.
Is there a different training syllabus for owners versus technicians?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to owners and technicians, one of the things that we try to do is cater to both worlds. So technicians, we go really deep. We talk about everything as much as we possibly can to be able to teach them as much as they need. An owner base, although most of our owners are big time do-it-yourselfers, one thing that we have to do is we have to be aware that their technical levels may not be as advanced as a technician. So we cater to them through creating both basic and advanced classes. So a basic class would just be basic operation, basic troubleshooting. What are the expectations of that system? How should it work? How do you use it properly? How do you make sure that it's maintained so that it's not going to fail prematurely? What are the first warning signs that something is failing? Things like that to be able to better extend that camping. But then for a technician, we're going way past that.
Hey Chet, what are you up to?
Hey Charlie, just fixing up a mock-up, getting it ready for the next in-house we've got, just doing some preventative maintenance.
You're the senior trainer for technical training, meaning you've been around, you're the grand old daddy. So tell me a little bit about your role.
Well, like you said, I'm senior technical instructor. I've been with Lippert for over 12 years now. I was here on day one when we actually started this department. In the beginning, it wasn't even technical training. All it was dealer relations. So there were 4 of us that went around. We went all over North America and started collecting data. And we took that data and we brought it back and we compiled reports to try and help out dealerships. And when we were on site, we would try to help them out as much as we could. What we found was there's a severe lack of training. So we really pushed hard for that.
So you were here from day one. Walk me through how you went from working out of a closet with a couple guys all the way to this amazing facility that you have here today.
All right, well, basically in one word, it was feedback. From all the dealers that we visited and the OEMs that we talked to, there was a severe lack of training on the Lippert products. You know, there's a lot of information online, wasn't really organized well, but there was a severe lack of it. So in compiling that feedback, we were able to justify why we actually needed a training center. And then in 2017, we got this beautiful facility. And then we actually did a split, because originally everybody was all together. So we split into 3 separate entities. You had technical publications, you had the technical trainers, like myself, that would go out and actually do the hands-on and classroom training, and then you had virtual productions. That has really increased our ability to provide training.
Walk me through or tell me more about what you guys do.
Okay, well, we got 2 different types.
Okay.
We got local trainers. They go out to local rallies, local dealers. If there's a need for training, they go out and do it. They also do a lot of the in-house training. And then we have the traveling trainers, which is what I'm part of. The traveling trainers travel all over North America. Realistically, we travel 26 weeks a year.
So tell me a little bit more about what you do here if you're not training.
Well, just like Aaron had talked to you before about all the mock-ups we're developing and all the other stuff, you saw me, I was doing maintenance on them. In addition to that, all the trainers will get together and we get a new product or new request for training. We develop the training curriculum, we build mock-ups for it, we build the PowerPoints for it. We also do installations for the technical publication side. So they get a new product in and they need to prove out a document. they'll grab one of us and we'll install it and try to break it.
So you guys do a lot. You're going from here state to their state. Who really organizes all this stuff behind the scenes?
We have an outstanding staff of event coordinators. They're in charge of not only contacting dealers, receiving emails from dealers as far as requests of training, but also doing all of our scheduling, telling us where to go. Plus, they maintain and take care of this beautiful facility. If we have an in-house, they do all the check-ins, they get all the bags together, everything. So they're very useful, they're very handy, and they're very appreciated.
So who do I talk to in that department about this?
You know what? A great person to talk to would be Lauren.
Lauren. That's where I'm off to next. Hey, Lauren.
Hi, Charlie. How are you?
I'm not bad.
Awesome.
Hey, I was just talking to Chet, and he basically said that you guys are the heart and soul of the Technical Institute. So tell me a little bit about that, what your role is and your team.
Absolutely. So I'm one of the coordinators for the Technical Institute. I work on a team of 3 wonderful women who organize and run all of these events that we have here and on the road. My specific role is to create content, so I'm always around taking pictures, making flyers, newsletters, email marketing, and making sure that the seats in this building are filled with people and attendees. And I also get to travel along on the road for some of the events that we do as well.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It is fun.
So tell me a little bit about this area.
We're in the cafeteria right now. This ends up being the attendees, most of them, favorite place because we serve up some pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Behind me here, we've got a pretty chill lounge area where people can kick back and relax in between classes. And we have a little aftermarket store walkthrough here where people can see some of our products, play with them a little bit, and then we also have some really cool merch as well.
So tell me a little bit about the numbers that we have generated.
So when the Tech Institute was founded in 2012, since then we've had over 200,000 completions through both of our online trainings and our in-person trainings. So a completion, for example, is every time you complete one of our courses. Since we've opened our doors here in this facility in 2017, we've hosted over 450 events, held over 8,000 people here.
Jeez, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So say I'm a Lippert customer, where do I go to find all this stuff?
Yeah, so you go to our website, support.lci1.com, click on technical training, and you'll see all of our planned events, open or not, listed out for you to view. You can click on each event, sign up there, view the course options, and also be able to contact our team if you have any more specific questions. Keep in mind that we're traveling all the time, and if you'd like to be notified about upcoming events, there's an emailing list where you'll get an email every single time a new event opens.
If you're in Albuquerque.
Yes.
Yeah.
We also are accredited through RVTI, all of our courses, even our online trainings. So if you are a technician looking to gain CEUs, please check out that stuff.
Oh, thank you very much. That's a lot of information, but I think I got it.
Awesome, thank
So
you,
I appreciate
Charlie.
you, and I'll see you later.
Awesome, thank you.
That wraps up the Lippert Technical Institute Behind the Scenes series on all 3 departments of the Technical Institute. I hope you enjoyed it.